Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's update with our town manager, Adam Chapdelaine. I'm James Milan for ACMi News. Adam, as always, thanks for joining us.
My pleasure.
Yet another highly eventful week here in Arlington, but let's start where we always do, and that is with a COVID-19 update. Again, I'm feeling like a kind of a broken record here, but in a good way, because we're seeing pretty much similar numbers as we've seen in the past. No spurts. So obviously we start by acknowledging that's good news.
Mhm.
And let me ask you if you've got anything to add.
Yeah, I mean, so to reiterate basically what you just said, it remains solid, stable news. The case counts are not going up dramatically. I guess, I said this last week and I'd say it again. I think we're still in a precarious time where school's starting and there's just much more interaction in the community, especially with children in the community. I'd also say that I myself have seen an uptick in people writing to me expressing concerns about folks being out in the community without masks on. And I think that, I think that's sort of been the same with Health and Human Services and the police department receiving similar amounts of complaints. So I think today I want to remind people again to stay vigilant, right? This, it's not over yet, and flu season is upon us or soon will be upon us. And I think we just have to maintain that vigilance. If we look at the numbers, Arlington has consistently, we've done well. I mean, we experienced tragedy and loss with the impacts we felt in our senior and assisted living facilities earlier this year. And I hate to even sound a bit like we've already moved past that, but more recently, as we've looked at case counts, the counts have remained very steady. And I think, again, that's a credit to Arlington, but we have to stay vigilant, especially as we go into these colder winter months as flu comes upon us.
Yeah, and it is really good news that in the senior facilities in town, that there's been a real stabilization there as well as in the broader community. It's hard to shake the sense that we're in the calm before the storm. And so we keep on talking right now about things being very stable, but we know that things can change and probably
fast.
will in the coming months. I mentioned an eventful week, nothing bigger, I'm sure, on people's radar than the recent community conversation, which was essentially an apology and acknowledgement and discussion thereafter with Lieutenant Pedrini. I can't help but ask for your take on how that evening went and what you see moving forward.
So I think the first thing I would say is I have to say thank you to everybody that made the event happen. From Jill Harvey, our Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Coordinator, to Alensa Michelle, our Equity Consultant, to the reaction panel participants who really gave, a piece of themselves to come and publicly express their very, thoughtful and personal opinions about the issue. And a thank you to Michael Curry for really just being an amazing, amazing moderator and facilitator of the event, and others. I mean, this was really a tremendous team effort, from the police chief to the deputy town manager, Sandy Pooler, and HR director, Karen Malloy, and public information officer, Joan Roman. Just so much effort went into making this event happen. And I'd also thank Lieutenant Pedrini. It was a very difficult night for him. I think for any of us, regardless of our actions, to be publicly, challenged and criticized like that is a hard thing. And again, I'm not at all suggesting he didn't need to do it, but it was a hard night for him, and I'm thankful that he did it. So, I'd say from takeaways, again, I've heard from a lot of people suggesting that the night was overall incredibly impactful, powerful, and something that Arlington should be proud that it was able to do. Michael Curry himself suggested that at both the opening and the closing, that there's not many communities doing work like this and really digging in on these issues. And I think that's what ultimately we did on Tuesday. I think there's takeaways from Tuesday. I think there's evidence that Rick can and should do more work to educate himself about the issues, issues involving race in policing. And I plan to have follow-up conversations with him and then about that, and then to talk more with the public about that. And then I also hope that we can achieve what we wanted to achieve Tuesday night, and that is not just dismiss the Lieutenant Pedrini issue, but find a way to continue to address it and move beyond it and broaden our discussions about race, equity, housing, education, policing, all the issues. I mean, race, as we know, is so intertwined in really every system, every institution that we have in our nation, and we have to address it. It's complicated. It's going to take a long time to address it, and I'm hopeful that we can now pivot to those broad conversations to make Arlington more equitable and inclusive.
I think, lots of people in town are ready to take that on. Let us hope that the work can begin in earnest, or can continue in earnest now. Thanks for that. Let me ask you quickly about a couple of other issues. One is that there continues to be progress of different sorts around Arlington as a sustainable community, and I would love for you to address the fact that, for instance, the community choice aggregation, which has always been a very, that's always been a bit of a cumbersome title. I understand there's been a title change for that program.
Yeah, so we continue to be so happy that we've been part of this aggregation program for a number of years now, and allowed residents and ratepayers to both save money and buy more green energy. We've always thought community choice aggregation was a bit of a lingo type term. So a team, including our energy manager Ken Pruitt, and our consultants at Good Energy, and representatives of Mothers Out Front, came up with a rebranding strategy to rebrand the program, calling it Arlington Community Electricity. Hopefully less jargony, with a nice emblem and seal to go along with it. But ultimately what we want to do is remind people that this is a program that will let you buy, if you're in the program at the base level, you're getting more renewable energy than you would get from Eversource. You can opt up to a 50% renewable level, and then you can opt up to a 100% renewable level. They're all very cost competitive, and they're local. It's local green energy, as certified by the outside party, the Green Consumers Energy Alliance, who provides us the renewable energy certificates that make up the program. So anybody watching today, if you haven't opted up, we have a website you can go to, arlingtoncca.com. You can go there, you can opt up electronically, again, to 50%, 100%. And I think, it's a potentially easy way for people who can't get solar on their roof, can't afford an electric car, but it's an easy way to really do your part to reduce your carbon footprint.
And I got to put a little plug in to say that our own household here has been at 100% opt up for a couple of years now, and it's working great. So
perfect.
Have at it, folks. We always treasure any opportunity in these times to celebrate, and we've got a couple of things to celebrate here. Recent recognition for town employees, awards given, et cetera. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so very recently, our town engineer, Wayne Schrenard, was honored by the EPA for his really dedicated work on stormwater-related issues. Wayne's been with the town for, I think, almost a decade now, and he does a lot of things well, but I know his passion is around stormwater, and he's been honored for that work. And it's along the lines of sustainability, and it's also along the lines of recognizing great work by town employees. And Wayne's been honored by the EPA, and we couldn't be more proud of him for having received that honor, and also happy that the work he's doing is benefiting Arlington, right? He's helping improve the sustainability, the environmental sort of benefit of Arlington. So congratulations to Wayne on that award. I'd also bring up Ida Cody, our town comptroller. The town has once again been given the award for its comprehensive annual financial report. It's called the CAFR. We've received it for the past few years now, and it's almost entirely due to the great work of Ida putting together this really comprehensive annual financial report that's submitted to the Government Finance Officers Association annually and considered for the award. So it's a big thanks to Ida. It's evidence of her very competent and strong work. And I think it's part of the larger suite of financial transparency reporting tools that we've been dedicated to over the past decade. So it's a good time to stop, celebrate Ida's great work as part of the really strong financial team that we have led by Deputy Town Manager Sandy Pooler. In the next few days, and here's the last thing I want to ask you about, we are expecting Town Hall renovations at Town Hall Plaza to start. What can people expect? So I think this has been a long time coming. We're going to be renovating the front plaza to make it really a much more safe and accessible surface. The granite pieces have been heaving for quite a long time in front of Town Hall, and we're going to fix all of that. So it's beautification, it's accessibility, it's safety. So we're going to be closing off the front of Town Hall. It'll be fenced off with construction fence, basically right out to the curb line, and we'll have a temporary accessible sidewalk going around that work. And so I'm excited that we'll be able to do it. Town Hall being closed, it's a good time to do it. It will have some impact on early voting, but we will be establishing alternative entrances into the auditorium through the 2 side doors to Town Hall. So we'll be putting up proper signage, coordinating with both facilities and the town clerk's office on that. So yeah, people will start to see construction fence going up around the front of Town Hall, and hopefully not a long time after that, they'll be able to see the newly improved yet still historically consistent front to Town Hall.
Any idea how long that might be?
I think we're looking at something just over 2 months to get through that. So hopefully, completing it before the weather comes in for the winter.
Right, but clearly, as you said, there will be some impact on election, but accommodations will be made. Good. All right. Well, thank you very much. If we haven't missed anything that you'd like to add, let me invite you to do that if we have.
No, I guess I would just say, take this opportunity to say I really have started to enjoy doing these updates. I hear from people actually pretty often, thanking us for doing them and finding them easily accessible and a good way to catch up on what's happening in town. So yeah, thanks for continuing to do it, James and ACMi.
Happy to do so. And we'll see you next week, Adam.
Sounds good. Same here. Take care.
All right. Take care.